Hello, my name is Jeremy, and I'm presenting on behalf of Team Overgrowth with my teammates Curtis, Ryan, Shane, and Jiang. So our story or narrative for our game is going to be a greedy CEO of a failing company purchases one wish from a magic store, wishing for infinite growth. He awakes to find out his body had grown, and when he returns to the magic shop to learn that a demon actually had cursed him instead of giving him a blessing. The only way to reverse the curse is to actually escape the demon's labyrinth before his life energy is drained. So a couple gameplay aspects of our game includes the rules, which is basically players will constantly grow in size and lose lifespan points. Players can then spend lifespan on downsizing by using P on the keyboard. And players lose lifespan points when they run into walls. A couple notable characters in our game is basically going to be the CEO, which is the character that the player is controlling. The secretary, which is going to be a guide that gives helpful tips, basically like a helpful character that will tell you the player what to do. Investors, which are basically NPC wanderers in the labyrinth that can cause the CEO to grow some more. Office drones, which are NPC wanderers in the labyrinth that could become the disgruntled X. And of course, the disgruntled X themselves, which are going to be enemies that actively block the CEO from basically, completing and succeeding. And the objective of the game is going to be extremely simple, which is going to be solving the puzzle, collecting keys, and defeating enemies to navigate the labyrinth. Some core mechanics of our game is going to be the character sizing will cause constraints on the player as the game progresses. So if the player ever gets too large, then moving platforms that they need to get to will break. They won't be able to fit through doors that they need to, and the time aspect of the game, right? The more you move, the larger you're going to become, and you're basically on a time crunch. Physics will be adjusted as the size of the character increases, and life energy will be mapped as point system, and game ends when the player runs out. A couple of the work plan and work assignments for the rest of the semester for our team members, as it may vary, but for the main point, I will be working on designing levels to challenge players and utilize game mechanics. Curtis will develop and implement UI elements as well as collectibles in the game. Ryan will implement core mechanics such as growth and platforms and make sure they all work accordingly. Shane is going to be working on the NPC enemies and wonders, so basically a little bit of AI of the game for the NPCs. And Jiang is going to help as well with level design and integrate sound, music, and just adding a little bit more game feel into the game. Significant algorithms and libraries. Well, for the time being, we're thinking of using the poly asset pack for design of the game background and environment, but we're definitely not using any of the one and done no code pack at all. So we're going to be working on other algorithms. We're just sorting that out and figuring out at the moment. Okay, so here's our current game. It's still fairly simple. We have basic character in the third person here. We have this moving platform, and as we can see that as the character grows, there's a little UI on the top that says the lifespan lost. There is a moving platform that we've implemented so far that is to break when the character gets a little too large. And we also have this key mechanic here that the user can pick up. So as we can see here that as the player is growing, they're getting a little slower. And when we press P on our keyboard, the player is downsizing. And as we grab this key, the door will open and it just allows the player to get through. And as we can see here, there's the mechanic where the player can outgrow the door and they can actually not fit anymore. We still have more to work on, such as implementing the camera system to be a little bit better, getting more collectibles, and adding more elements to the game. But this is just a simple mechanic again, first of all, and this is all we've been working on the past couple of weeks. So thank you for your time and listening into our presentation.